Good evening and welcome to Fine Point, where no narrative is sacred, no media hoax is safe, and we zero in on the big picture. I'm your host, Chanel Rion. Can you feel it in the wind? It's 1775. Again. It turns out the only thing Harvard exports faster than elitist pretension is the blueprint for communist cognitive warfare. And Beijing just picked up the tab for the world's most dangerous scientific defection. Yesterday, stunning reports confirmed that Dr. Charles Lieber, the former chair of Harvard's chemistry department and a world leader in nanoscience, has not only surfaced in China, but is actively rebuilding a state-of-the-art brain-computer interface lab in Shenzhen. For those who need a refresher on how we got here, Dr. Lieber was the prize catch of the DOJ's China Initiative. In 2021, he was convicted of lying to federal authorities about his participation in the 1,000 Talents program and concealing millions in CCP funding. The man who literally invented injectable electronics has apparently decided that his talents are better appreciated by the Communist Party than the country he betrayed. This isn't just about curing Alzheimer's, mind you. This is the genesis of the CCP's relentless pursuit of the super soldier. Lieber's specialty is nanoscale wires so thin they can be injected into the brain without surgery, seamlessly integrating human neurons with artificial intelligence. The Pentagon has warned for years that China is chasing cognitive electronic warfare, the ability to connect a soldier's brain directly to the battlefield network, controlling drones with thoughts or uploading tactical data directly to the cortex. Recall nearly 6 years ago, now CIA Director John Ratcliffe wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal warning of China doing exactly this. Listen.
According to Ratcliffe, quote, China also steals sensitive U.S. defense technology to fuel President Xi Jinping's aggressive plan to make China the world's foremost military power. U.S. intelligence shows that China has even conducted human testing on members of the People's Liberation Army in the hope of developing soldiers with biologically enhanced capabilities. There are no ethical boundaries to Beijing's pursuit of power. Remarkable. We know where this is leading, and Ratcliffe's op-ed spells it out. Quote, Beijing is preparing for an open-ended period of confrontation with the United States. Washington should also be prepared.
Wow, I missed that, Tucker Carlson. But in all seriousness, the consequences for the United States are catastrophic. And so this latest story is not that we didn't know that this was happening, but now it's confirmed that Dr. Lieber is working in hand with the CCP on this very project. By allowing Lieber to depart and reestablish his research at the newly formed iBrain Institute in Shenzhen, we have hand-delivered decades of taxpayer-funded research to our primary adversary. While our universities argue over equity, Harvard's finest export is currently helping China bypass American technology to achieve what the Pentagon calls biotech supremacy. Now, we're in a biotech race with the CCP, and it turns out you don't need a Trojan horse when you can just inject the soldier from within. Lieber's new lab isn't just a research facility, it's a factory for the next generation of reptilian-level aggression on the battlefield. Joining us now to discuss the silent betrayal at Harvard and the CCP's brain-computers arms race, independent China analyst and journalist Terrence Shen. Terrence, you do a lot of covering about how the CCP operates, what its motivations are. Without getting into, the technical details of this story, what are your initial thoughts about this confirmation that a top Harvard professor tied to 1,000 Talents is now helping open this iBrain Institute?
Chanel, thank you so much for having me. I think this case is very revealing. The Charles Lieber was the former chair of chemistry at Harvard. He was convicted in U.S., and now he's in Shenzhen, China, leading research in brain-computer interfaces that could be used by Chinese PLA against the United States. So to me, this is not just a personal career move. I think it sends a very serious signal. Honestly, I think the part that is hard to understand is that he was making about $50,000 a month from China while working in Harvard. But the consequence was only an $80,000 fine and no prison time. The court decision itself is questionable, I think, because it doesn't feel proportional.
Wow.
But I think the bigger issue here is deterrence. So if someone at that level can go through this so easily and still continue working in a highly strategic field for our biggest adversary, then we have to ask a very basic question: what kind of deterrence are we actually creating? And what message does this send to others with access to sensitive technologies in the West?
Absolutely amazing points you bring up. And again, this is a story that has been around, I guess, the story of Dr. Lieber and what he was doing. As you mentioned, as you reminded us, he was being paid, what, $50,000 a month by the CCP? At least that's what the charge was. Absolutely right. It's disproportional. What the subsequent ruling was disproportional. I believe that ruling was handed down under the Biden administration, which I guess is not very surprising, that Biden's team was not very hard on anything related to the CCP.
Yes, what China is really doing is systematic and long-term. It's not just about one scientist or one case. China is actively using the openness of democratic societies to its advantage. On one side, it builds access and influence inside our open societies. On the other side, it uses funding, incentives, and opportunities to attract top talent and sensitive knowledge, like through their 1,000 talent programs, in where Charles Lieber was one of the targets. So it's a national strategy that we don't have. So if we don't do anything about it, it will shift the balance of technological power over time.
So, Terrence, talk to me about how the CCP probably recruits professors and high-level individuals like this. I mean, I'm sure they lavish them with all kinds of incentives on top of payments.
Yeah, we have to understand that the modern competition is no longer just about the military confrontation, right? It is about who controls the talent, technology, and innovation. So it's China's long-term strategic competition with the United States. I think many people still underestimate how organized and how persistent this effort is. Like when they hire the talents from the West, they can give you a apartment for free, which is worth like millions of dollars. And also they can even find you a wife or girlfriends, and as many as you have. So these kind of strategies that we don't really understand. So we have to find a way to confront it.
Terrence Shen, keep up the great work. Thank you so much for that context. What a fascinating and terrifying story. I see implications that go far beyond even military uses here, and the fact that the CCP is just openly working on this now is terrifying, to put it mildly.
Thank you, Chanel. It's been great speaking with you.
Coming up, Trump signed an executive order expanding high-quality retirement savings accounts for millions of Americans. Executive Director of Committee to Unleash Prosperity, Tim Descher, joins us next.